Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the Vicki Boutin design team and I'm excited because it's my first project where I'm gonna use the gel crayons. And I actually do a lot of Bible journaling, so I know how these react when you use them on your Bible. Super smooth, great for Bible journaling, but they're also really good to create like a really soft background when you use them on your layouts. The key here though, however, is you're gonna have to, even if you use foundation paper, you're gonna need to gesso your pages. The gel crayon is a different formulation from the art crayon. They're still water soluble, but they react like butter when you have a gesso paper. So I'm just gonna go ahead and gesso my page. I am using my palette knife just to kind of bring some of the gesso onto the paper, and then I'm gonna spread it with my brayer. One of the easiest ways to actually apply gesso on a kind of an even surface, really fast, really thinly onto my layout. So you're gonna see that I applied, I'm not gonna cover the entire page. I am thinking that most of my work is gonna go on the right side of the layout, so I'm gonna deposit most of the gesso on that area. Once I'm done, I'm gonna make sure that it dries completely, and I'm gonna go clean up my utensils until then, and then I come back to share what I'm creating. So the picture that I pulled today is of my sister and my mom on a walk a couple years ago. I love the picture. They're always laughing. Whenever we're with my mom and my sister, we tend to be really happy. So like I said, again, I am gonna work with the gel crayons just to show you, and the way I'm gonna treat them is as watercolor. So you're gonna see that I'm scribble a little bit of the art crayon on my little I'm using my Tim Holtz glass mat, so I'm scribbling on my mat. I'm gonna dilute it with some water, and literally I'm creating watercolor. Now I'm starting with the light blue gel crayon, and then it's really light. That's the one thing that makes a big difference between the gel crayon and the art crayon. Art crayons are really highly pigmented, and they're great to work. A little bit goes a long way because they're just that high pigment. Gel crayons are really soft, they're like butter, but they have a lower pigmentation. But that means you're gonna need a lot more to achieve that tone. So you're gonna see how, and that's one. The second thing, because you're adding it on top of gesso, the gesso is gonna take away some of that color. Remember, you're just kind of diluting it on top. So just keep that in mind. So if you want something that's really vibrant, really deep, you can go with this too, but you're gonna need a lot more gel crayon compared to art crayons. So that's the biggest difference. But after that, gel crayons is like working with watercolors. One of my favorite things to work with are watercolors, and gel crayons will give you that same background look. So you're gonna see I'm just scribbling the crayon on my mat, diluting it, but also because I added the gesso on my page, I am able to scribble the gel crayon on my foundation paper, and then just use water to dilute it and just move it on my page. And I'm only able to do this because I treated my page before. If I have not treated before, then whenever I draw on the foundation paper, the paper will hold on to the memory, so you will see the lines of the gel crayon. But because I have the gesso underneath, I am able to, with the water brush and a little bit of water, to erase that line and just make it like, literally, it's like watercolor. So you're gonna see that it actually behaves as such. It will just kind of bloom on the paper, and that's because you have the gesso. So if you scribble a little bit of the gel crayon and add some water, you're gonna see how slowly the color starts to diffuse on the paper, and that's because the water is diluting the gel crayon, but the gesso is just making, like, literally it's like butter melting on your page. So you're just gonna start blooming on your paper, and beautiful, super soft. And that's what I want for this layout. I want something really soft. I want to play with color study, and it's a really vibrant collection, but I want to show you how you can create something really soft with it. So I'm taking care, that's why I'm using the gel crayons. So the tones that I'm using for this background, I'm going to use blue, the light blue, the green, I want to get to that tealish tone, and I'm actually going to use purple. but I'm gonna use actually I'm not using the purple from the gel crayons. I'm gonna use the lilac from the art crayons. But first I'm just building my background. You're gonna see that I'm just playing with the gel crayons, the light blue, the blue, and the green, just to create that teal. And those are the colors of the clothing that my sister and my mom are wearing. They were in jeans, they were in purple, so I want to stay in those cool tones. And then again, once I'm finished, I'm gonna set it aside to dry. You're gonna see how soft the application is. So now what I want to bring into this paper is a little bit more of an impression, something really soft. So I'm gonna go into the stencils. These are the new stencils, and I believe this is the floral stencil from the fresh set. And here's when I'm gonna come in with art crayon, and I'm gonna choose actually the lilac art crayon, just because my mom is wearing purple pants and like a fuchsia top. She likes those type of clothing. So I'm just gonna scribble the lilac on my mat. I'm gonna bring my stencil brush, remember circular motion to pick up that art crayon, and then I'm gonna go on a circular motion on top of the stencil. I am not gonna add a lot of pressure. I just want to create the soft shadow impression of the stencil. You're gonna see slowly that I'm gonna add it and I'm gonna lift it so you see it. You're just gonna see the soft look on the watercolor, which is what I'm looking for. Like I said, remember, I am working with color study, very vibrant collection, beautiful collection, but there's a lot that you can do. And I'm gonna go with the soft side. I want to show you how you can use those, vibrant tones to create something really soft and delicate. So I'm just adding, again, I'm just gonna continue adding. I'm not gonna cover the entire page. I just want to make sure that I have that floral impression right on top of the watercolor. I'm gonna extend it a little bit more so that it comes off the watercolor that I have, so that you can see it a little bit more. But I am not adding a lot of pressure because I want just like the little shadow. Once I have it, and remember, this is very easy. This is a dry application, so you can go ahead and continue working right after. And all I do is I scribble my crayon. I am using my glass mat, so I'm scribbling on the mat. I'm gonna pick up the art crayon with my stencil brush, and then I'm gonna go in a circular motion on top of the stencil so that I can create that impression. And you're gonna see that this is not a continuous stencil, so it's not gonna give you a continuous look. So I'm just playing with little spots of the stencil to create my impression. Now once I'm finished, I need to bring some of the purple that I just added on the impression onto the page as watercolor. So I'm gonna dilute a little bit of the crayon, and I'm just gonna add some splatters to the corners, like around the page, and I'm just gonna move them around. Now remember, because I have the yeso on the background, whenever you add anything that it's liquid onto yeso, it just blooms. And what I mean by bloom, it just starts to disperse. So even though I'm just adding splatters, the splatters are slowly gonna kind of open up. That's what you call blooming. So it's not gonna look as a little dot. It's actually gonna look more like as a puddle. So keep that in mind. So while my background is drying, there's still a little bit wet because I added the liquid. I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling papers that I want to use. And one of the things that I want to use are the butterflies and the florals. The butterflies is from the Pretty Things paper, and I want to use the florals from the journal paper. Those are the yellow florals. I am also gonna pull the spheres paper because I love that purple. It matches the one in my mom's pants. I'm gonna use line drawing because I love that blue. I think that blue, even though it's bold, it's gonna help me just bring the delicate tone that I want for this layer. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fussy cut. So even though it looks like I'm not using a lot of paper, I'm actually gonna use quite a bit because I'm gonna fussy cut around a quarter of the page of the journal. This is the yellow florals, and I want to take advantage of remember, most of Vicki's papers have a bit of the stress on them, so I want to make sure that I pick the florals that have that green undertone. Some of them have little like a little red of this stress behind it. I want to go with the green undertone just because those are the colors that I have on the background. And you're gonna see that I'm gonna cut around a quarter of the page, and then I'm gonna cut 3 butterflies from the Pretty Things paper, and I'm gonna cut 1 butterfly from the 6x8 because I just want a smaller scale. So I'm just gonna take my time while my background completely dries to fussy cut everything. once I am done, like, with my, I'm gonna start kind of building the layers of the paper. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna frame my picture. I want to make sure that like the clothing that they're wearing stands out, and because my mom's pants are really like, I'm gonna say like they are a little bit out there, I'm gonna back my picture with a piece of the line drawing paper, sorry, the Pretty Things paper, the butterfly paper. The B side has this beautiful purple, there's like a soft line in it, gorgeous. I actually bought more out of it, and I'm gonna back my picture with it. Once I have that, I'm actually gonna cut my picture, I think is around 4x4. I'm gonna cut two 4x6 pieces of paper. I'm gonna go into the spheres paper, and I actually went into the 6x8 spheres paper, and I cut a 4x6 piece of the paper, and then I'm gonna go into the line drawing paper, and again I'm gonna cut a 4x6 piece of the paper, and I'm actually just gonna play with the paper to create some layers. I want that bold blue to actually make everything else stand out, and because everything is gonna be so like really soft, it is gonna make it stand out without making it like, like it's gonna make it pop, but it's not gonna make it like, horribly standoffish. No, it's actually gonna work nicely just because I'm working with all those cool tones. I'm gonna bring all those yellow florals just to warm up a little bit. I want to bring the spring feeling. There's a lot of green behind it. This picture was Mother's Day, I think around 7 years ago. No, 5 years ago. No, 7 years ago actually. So 7 years ago, well, it's been a while since we took this picture. So I pretty much have my idea. But one of the things that I realized once I have it is that I need to add my title, and I just cannot put my title just in a white in the white area of the cardstock. I need to bring some of the tones that I have in the background, and because I don't have yeso on the bottom left corner of my layout, I'm gonna cheat the look of the watercolor, and for that I'm gonna go with a dry application of the art crayon. So you're gonna see that I'm using the light blue art crayon. I just scribbled it on my mat, use my stencil brush to pick up the color, and then I'm gonna go in a circular motion on the bottom left corner of my layout. Once I have that, I'm actually gonna dilute a little bit of the lilac art crayon, and I just add some splatters onto the application that I just added, and that's gonna give me kind of the watercolor look that I have already going. So while that dries, I'm gonna start just building the layout. I had all the papers cut out, I have the idea. That's all about building it. Now, one of the things that I like doing is a lot of us like to, I'm gonna say a lot of us because I love dimension, and I like adding foam behind my pictures. But one of the things that I like doing is adding like different dimension between the layers. For that, I know that many times I save all the pieces left over of die cuts, especially when I use my silhouette, because I have all those pieces that I have left over, and I tend to cut really thick cardstock. So what I do is I cut pieces of that cardstock behind the picture, and that just creates this soft dimension in between the layers, which I love. So it's not the picture just standing off, because sometimes I do that, but here, because I'm using all those layers, it creates a soft shadow in between the layers, which I love. Once I have that, I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it onto the paper, onto my background. You're gonna see that I added that little tab, and that's from the journaling ephemera. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and add all the florals. I want to create, think of it, 2 clusters on the top left corner of my picture, and also on the right bottom corner of my picture, and then the other ones are gonna go in that little bottom left corner of my layout where my title is gonna sit. I am gonna add some foam adhesive behind the florals just to give them a little bit of dimension. And then I kind of struggle with the title a little bit. And then I decided to go with the happy memories. I am using the puffy words. These are the ones that Vicki drew herself. And I decided to go with happy memories just because it kind of spans through the width of the page. And I like, how heavy they are compared to what I have on top. So once I have that in place, what I did, I'm going to bring one of the butterflies and just add it to my title. One of the things that I have at hand all the time is vellum leaves. And what I mean by that is I have quite a few dies from Boutin, and there's a few that create these beautiful leaves, you know, just little branches. I tend to die cut quite a few of them and keep them inside my package, so whenever I need to, like, you know, fluff out any cluster, I just add them. So I brought some of them onto this, and I'm gonna add it in between the florals. Now when it came to embellishing my picture, I want to make sure that I bring quite a bit of yellow, just so that I can balance the title. So that big chipboard that you saw me there comes it's like a long strip. I'm gonna cut it in half and put it at the bottom of my picture. I added that little phrase to the tab that comes from the sticker album. That this here, that's from the ephemera pack, and it's vellum, so I'm adding a glue dot behind it to glue it in place. And I'm bringing some of that gold, and I'm bringing also the vellum leaves, just go tie everything together. Then I'm gonna bring the butterflies, and I'm gonna add 2 of them on the bottom right corner of the picture, and then the other one at the top of the layout, on the top left corner of the layout and of the picture. And then I'm gonna bring a few more phrase stickers. I'm gonna make sure, like I said before, I'm gonna concentrate on the black with the gold, just to tie everything together. I love the fact that I'm bringing black in the title. I have the butterflies that are black. Even though the blue paper, remember from the line drawing, is like really electric blue, with all the tones and the yellow and the softness of the vellum, but the butterflies, it just softens up. And I'm going to use it after more, just to make sure that I bring everything together. And one of the things, what else did I add here? I think I added one of those stickers from the sticker, like from the cardstock sticker page. I'm just bringing the ones that have that black kind of a rectangular look with gold, just to like I said, to put everything together. And then I'm gonna go into the sticker album, the sticker tablet, and I'm gonna put one of those vellum stickers. Really hard to peel. The best way that I did it, I just took it out, and literally with my nail I started just rubbing it behind until a little piece of the backing lift up, and I was able to peel it off. It was a little bit tricky. I think I'm going to use a weeding tool after. It might help me to just get everything in place. So I'm going to glue everything together. I know that my lines of journal are going to go right underneath the photo, and just to finish, I'm going to add some gold ink. And then when I took it off camera, I realized that I need to accent everything together, and because I have the blue lining, the blue drawing paper, like, you know, as the backing of the picture, I'm actually gonna cut a frame and just put it on the paper, just to frame the top right corner of my layer. And that's about it. I love how this turned out. Like I said, the collection is so versatile. You can go bold and vibrant, or you can go soft, like in this layer. And I hope you like it. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, guys.